Hey, good morning. It's JJ, the Lonely Bull in Asia, here on a beautiful Sunday morning here in Bangkok, Thailand. Sitting in my condo, and I look outside. The sun is shining. I know we're in the middle of rainy season, but I think today's going to be a great day. So, yeah, and I'm rested because my team didn't play early this morning. They played on a Friday night, which I watched Saturday morning, which was a total disaster. If you're not aware, my team is Nebraska, the Nebraska Cornhuskers, and they totally shit the bed against Minnesota. Again, just like last year, 5-1, ranked 25th in the nation, and then they lose the next game in just horrifying fashion. So anyway, but I'm over that now. I'm moving on, and had a good time last night. Met a couple of friends that I hadn't seen for a couple of weeks, and had a couple of beers. I had 2 pints, I think, that's all. Had a good dinner at, place down on, Sukhumvit 4, or Nana, as it's commonly referred to, a place called The Tavern, which is a American, um, a restaurant, basically, and, had a good burger. I was gonna get the steak, but I guess they only do the steaks now on certain days of the week. They don't do it every day anymore. But they have really good steaks. But the burger was good. I had a bacon cheeseburger, and my buddy had a what did he have? He had the chili fries and wings, and the wings were really good too. And I guess the chili fries were probably good. I didn't have any of that, but I did have a couple of his wings, so that was good. So all is good today. A few of my friends are going to the driving range to golf, but I'll be here doing this. We usually do Saturdays, but one of the guys was out of town Saturday, so they're doing it today. But after golf, everybody's going out to eat at a Mexican restaurant that I haven't been to yet. So we'll check that out. I'll let you know how that goes. So I'll miss the golf, but I'll make sure I hit the lunch afterwards. So we'll probably go 2 hours, maybe a little longer, depending on chat. See how chat goes. If you guys have any questions or comments, put them in the chat. Make sure you hit the like button too. That helps the algorithm and helps me out. Um, but I wanted to, the topic today, one of the topics today is, I've lived in 3 countries now here in Southeast Asia. I lived in the Philippines for 3 years. I've lived here in Thailand for a year, and I actually lived in Da Nang, Vietnam for 3 months, but I've been there a few times. So I kind of have a, I signed in on what you saying. Hang on, I got to put that on the head. Ken says, I signed on with you saying shit the bed. Then I heard Nebraska. Now I understand. No, it wasn't literal. I didn't literally shit the bed, but well, yeah, your timing was perfect then. Hey, Steve, thanks for the super chat. Appreciate that. Hey, Gio's on board. Gio on the go. Formerly Gio in the Philippines. Hey, good morning, Gio. Thanks for coming in this morning. Gio's changed his live stream, so he'll do one tonight now. I think, right? You're gonna do yours tonight. He had been doing him in the morning before mine, but he's changed to evenings, and I may start doing an evening one too. I'll probably keep this one, or I'll do a morning one and maybe an evening one too. So make sure you check out Geo's live stream tonight. What time do you go on, Geo? But yeah, Nebraska last Friday night or Saturday morning here. It was not fun to watch. And I knew as soon as after that second drive where we stalled like we normally do in the red zone and kicked a field goal, I knew it wasn't going to be a good night for Nebraska because we just couldn't, nothing was working. I mean, our offensive line stunk. I mean, we gave up 9 sacks out of 38 pass attempts. 9 times they sacked Dylan Raiola. And then the other times he was under pressure. So there's something, I don't know what's going on. So yeah, it wasn't a pretty sight. So Ricky says, "Hey, good morning from sunny Tonglo." Hey, all right. Yeah, it's going to be a beautiful day today, isn't it? Geo goes on tonight at 8:15. Okay, good. I'll be home by then. Go Blues. Go Blues. Blues. What's the Blues? You mean Maize and Blue? You're a Michigan guy? Or what? Tell me more, Ricky. Ken says, "How do you watch college football in Bangkok?" I just use my normal YouTube channel or YouTube. And I just find a stream that somebody's probably streaming illegally, but I find one that's not blocked. And some days or some weeks it's easy, and some weeks it's a little more difficult. Like yesterday, it was the one stream I found was a bad stream. In fact, on the live comments, somebody said, "Hey, are you using dial up?" Because it was every time the ball was snapped, it would it would freeze up and it would recycle. So it wasn't a great time. But I don't want to spend, I can get YouTube TV. I had that before, but they raised the prices so high. It's like $75 now. So I don't want to use that. So I just take my chances every week and try to find a stream on YouTube. Because I'm a cheap Charlie, I don't want to pay for anything extra. So, oh, St. Louis Blues. Okay, sure, you're a hockey guy. Okay, cool, awesome. I love hockey. When I lived in Tennessee, the vice president or the vice president or the president of the company I worked for, we had box seats for the um, Nashville Predators hockey team. So I got to go up in the box every once in a while and enjoy that. So that was kind of cool. But yeah, hockey live is great. Hockey on TV, not so much. It's like watching golf on TV. Although I do watch golf on TV, especially if I need to take a nap. So I'll watch golf and I'll fall asleep, and about an hour later I'll wake up and say, "Oh, where's everybody at?" But yeah, so I want to do a little comparison of the three countries here in Southeast Asia I've lived in for extended periods, and kind of give you my personal assessment of the three. And just, everybody's tastes are different, everybody's situation is different, but I'll just give you mine. So I've lived in the Philippines the longest, 3 years actually, and all that time I traveled all over the Philippines. So it's not like I was stuck in this bubble of BGC and Metro Manila the entire 3 years and never got out of it. I traveled a lot. I've traveled all over Luzon. I've traveled to Leyte, several places in Leyte, that island. Negros, I've been all over there. I have not been to Mindanao, so that's something I can't talk about. But I've been to the cities. I've been to is Cebu, Iloilo, Bacolod, Dumaguete. In Leyte, I've been to Tacloban and Bye Bye City, in Mahaplog, which is a tiny little village in southern Leyte. In Luzon, I've been to Paponga, Angeles City or Angeles City. I've been down to It's been so long I've been away. I can't remember how it's said anymore. Tagaytay. I've been to Tagaytay. That's where the volcano is, Taal volcano. So I've been to all those places. So I do, and then of course Metro Manila and BGC and in Makati in that area. And I did love it. I love the BGC area because it's very westernized. A lot of Western amenities. Very convenient in BGC because it's very walkable. So in the 3 years I lived there, I lived in two different condos in those 3 years. And I would say the upside is you got the Western amenities. You have the Western franchise restaurants. So if you like, Olive Garden and Texas Roadhouse and Chili's and all those types of restaurants, you've got those choices there in BGC in Metro Manila. Um, and then you've got other, kind of smaller restaurants that are nice too. And the nice thing is like little communities like Forbes Road has a nice little area there, High Street South, Uptown. So you've got all those little areas in BGC that's all walkable too, and have nice restaurants and bars and that sort of thing. And I met some really good people there when I was there. The downside with the Philippines, in my mind, is the infrastructure is just not up to par with the rest of Southeast Asia or much of Southeast Asia. It's hard to get around. You get outside of that bubble, and transportation is an issue. The the quality of build in some of these condos aren't as good as far as quality as, say, here in Thailand, in Bangkok. Um, and then you've got the issue with cockroaches. It seems like every place you go in the Philippines, you're going to have cockroach issues. Even the nicest looking condos have cockroach issues, it seems. So that's always been a drawback because that drives me crazy. I hate roaches. So I have not, since I've been here in Bangkok, almost a year now in this condo, I've never seen one roach. None. Um, I'm not saying that that's not the issue somewhere else. And when I move in 2 weeks, hopefully I won't have roaches that I move in with. So anyway, that would be the biggest downsides. And then just the fact that it's hard to get Western amenities as far as food, food choices in grocery stores. I mean, you can find some of those things, but it's a lot more expensive, and it is here too. But a lot of times when you're at a restaurant, they're out of stock on a lot of things. Um, and I don't know whether it's just the fact that it's an island nation, so it's hard to get things there, or that they're just not prepared when they run out of items. They don't order before they run out. They wait until they run out, then they order the new items. Because there'll be a lot of times when you'll go to a restaurant and they're out of San Mig light beer, or they're out of tomatoes for your BLT sandwich. Just an example, or they're out of cheese for a cheeseburger. And you think to yourself, it's like, well, is it that have they been trying to get it and it's just not being shipped in, or did they just not think ahead and order those things before they run out? So if you've got any comments, feel free to comment in chat, um, what you think about all that. But that's kind of where I'm at with the Philippines. And it is for lack of a better term, a third world country, a developing country, I guess you could call it. It is a little bit behind in a lot of things to other Southeast Asian countries. The people are nice. I like that. That's okay. Vietnam, people are nice. It's harder to communicate in Vietnam because less people speak English. That's another plus for the Philippines. If you're in the larger metro areas, most everybody speaks English at least well enough to communicate. Now, sometimes it's hard to understand them, even if they're speaking English, because their accent is a little different than ours. So they pronounce words a little differently. So if you can get by that, then it's a little easier to communicate. If you get outside of the larger areas in the Philippines, um, contrary to popular belief, English isn't a widely spoken language in the smaller areas, in the more rural areas. So you may have those issues. Even in Metro Manila, if you get into a taxi, it's rare that the taxi driver speaks English at all. So you do run into those problems. Let's get caught up on Chad here real quick. Cheap Charlie versus Butterfly, Bar Girl's Dilemma. Yeah. Flies and ants too. Oh, in the Philippines, yeah. Mosquitoes. I know mosquitoes. I've never had a problem with mosquitoes here in Bangkok. Now, in Vietnam and Da Nang, I got bit up quite a bit with mosquitoes. And in the Philippines, even in BGC, I got some. There were some times where I got bit up pretty good. Dave says, "Hey JJ, good morning to you." Good morning, Dave. Thanks for coming on board this morning. Um, so so let me tell you a little bit about Vietnam. Vietnam is, I've been to Ho Chi Minh City and I've been to Da Nang, and I had an apartment for 3 months in Da Nang. So um, Ho Chi Minh City is a cool city. It's really neat. But for me, it was harder to get around than, say, Bangkok, because they don't have the train system. So it's a little harder, a little more difficult to get around. Um, but it's pretty neat um, if you like big cities and you like the hustle and bustle. Uh, Da Nang is a smaller city, a little over a million, maybe 1,000,001 or 1,000,002 population, but it doesn't feel big. Easy to get around because they've got Grab, they've got taxis. They've got the normal transportation to get around, so that's nice. And then you're a beach, and it's a beach city, so you got that beautiful long beach. So you have the beach side and you got the river side, and both has its pluses. Obviously, if you're a beach person, you would want to live close to the beach, and you've got that option, and it's cheap. Probably the cheapest place I've ever been is Da Nang, Vietnam. Now, I'm not saying there's not other places that are cheaper, but for me, my experience, that's even cheaper than the Philippines. Even in the rural areas of the Philippines, I think Da Nang is cheaper. I mean, I had a nice apartment, and I was paying 250, I think. Um, Not even 250. It was 7 million Vietnam dong. So that was about $270, maybe something like that. And then included Wi-Fi. So it was super cheap to live there. So the food is good. Although, if you go into some of the Western restaurants there, you will pay a little more, but you can eat really cheap there in Da Nang, Vietnam. I mean, um, banh mi sandwiches are 20, 25,000 dong, which is under $1. So you can really eat on the cheap there if you want to. Um, Let's see, Kiki and Jasmine. Hey, good morning. Cannot stay long today. Flying back to Ireland this evening. Family emergency. Oh, okay. Well, safe travels, and hopefully everything will be okay. But yeah, have a safe travel and have a safe trip. That's a long flight, isn't it? Um, so Vietnam, I would say, would be, of the three places I've lived, I would say Da Nang, Vietnam is my second favorite place. Bangkok is head and shoulders above everything else because there's so much going on, and I've become a city guy. So there's so much going on in this city. Um, Obviously, it's the city that never sleeps. I sleep, so I'm usually home before midnight. It's rare that I stay out later than midnight. Um, I think last night I got home probably before 10. So if that's any indication, maybe 10:30. I can't remember. But the train stopped running at midnight, so I always try to get on the last train before midnight, so I don't have to take a Grab or a taxi or a bike to get home, or walk for that matter. So that's kind of how I am. But there's so much to do. Like, my buddies are going to the driving range, and you take that for granted in the U.S. There's driving ranges all over, pretty much every city or town that you live in the U.S. But in the Philippines, it's not like that, and I don't know, Vietnam probably not like that. But here in Bangkok, I go by two every day. I'm on the train. I go by two separate driving ranges, and there's golf courses all over. Um, and it's probably the cost to go golfing here is probably comparable to the West, to many places in the West. So, like, I was looking at a golf trip down to Hua Hin. and I'm looking at the cost for green fees for these golf courses in Hua Hin, and they range anywhere from like 2,500 baht to maybe 5,000 baht. So 2,500 is about $75, 70 or $75. I think there were a couple that were under 2,500. So I'm looking at cost of a round of golf in Hua Hin anywhere from about 60 to $100. But so that includes your green fees, that includes your golf cart, and you get a caddy with that too. Now you have to tip your caddy at the end of the day, and usually it's about 500 baht, which is about $15 is an acceptable tip. So, if I get to go to a course that's $60 and then you pay $15 for your caddy tip, that's $75. That's about average in the West too. I mean, yeah, you can find cheaper golf courses in the West that's going to cost you a lot less, but the quality of the course probably isn't great. Might even be just a 9-hole course instead of a full 18 holes. The courses here are all pretty nice. So, yeah, I think that's probably, that's one of the things I really like about Bangkok. Live music scene is another that I really like about Bangkok. Ken says, how much cash would you suggest bringing with you when moving there? It depends how accessible you can have your cash when you're here. So like I have a US bank. And so I just when I came over here, let's see, it's been 4 years, so almost 4 years. Um, I I don't think I brought a lot of cash. Um, but I would bring maybe a few $100s. I wouldn't bring more than that. I mean, I think you can bring up to 10,000, but why would you bring? I don't know why you would need that. If you tell your bank you're coming over here and they know that, then your cards are going to work. Your bank card, your credit cards, you can use that most of the time. I use cash. I get 10,000 baht of cash every month out for incidentals, for like, top up my rabbit card for the BTS train. I put 1,000 in every time it starts getting low. So I use cash to pay that. I'll use cash if I go to a street vendor to get some street food, or if I duck into 7-Eleven, I need, get some milk or something. These small items, I use cash for that. And so that 10,000 gets me through. If I go out on the town, if I go and have a beer or two, I'll use cash for that. If I get a nice dinner and I spend more than, say, 500 1,000 baht for a night out, I'll use my card for that. So I wouldn't worry too much about how much cash you're bringing. It's just how accessible you can get to your cash if you need it. That would be the thing. If you've got a bank account or if you've got a bank card that reimburses your ATM fees, then you're in good shape because you can draw cash out of an ATM and get your ATM fees back. So that's always good. The one thing I would caution you about, if you use the ATMs, you're going to have a choice. A lot of times they'll give you an option. Do you want to use the ATM, the local ATM exchange rate, or do you want to use your bank's exchange rate? Always choose the bank's exchange rate. You're going to get a better exchange rate than you would if you use the ATMs. So you don't want to lose that extra money. So that would be my little tip for you. Long trip and very expensive at short notice. Only booked it yesterday morning. Oh, I'll bet that's expensive. Yeah, I don't even want to imagine how much that's going to be. Tip: if you know a member of a golf course, they can invite you as a guest. That's how I got into the Tagaytay golf course. Oh, cool. Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to, when I do my trip down to Hua Hin for my golf, maybe I'll hang out at the clubhouse and just get to know people first. And then maybe I could get invited as a guest. That's a good tip. Steve says, how does bringing an overnight guest back to the condo work? Does the check-in at front desk any problems? So in the Philippines, usually you have to check your guest in if you live in a condo. It's very rare that in my experience, it's very rare that I could just take a guest in and have no issues. To be honest, I don't know. Here, this condo here, so I'll tell you how it works. So at the very front of the condo, you walk in. There's two buildings basically, and you walk in the first one, and that's where the front lobby is and the front desk is. But I never go through the front because then basically you go through the front building and then you go out the back and then you go into the next building, and that's where my condo is. So I always just walk around the outside of the building where you would go if you were to park your car. They've got these 3 automatic parking stalls, and they've got 2 charging stations for electric vehicles. I always walk around there and then go to my building. I don't go through the front door or the front lobby. So really, I don't have to. There wouldn't be if I brought somebody back to my condo, there would be no issue because I wouldn't go through that front lobby. I just go around the outside. Um, so I don't know if that answers your question. I don't know what other condos here in Bangkok or Thailand do. I know they're very secure. The new one I'm going to has facial recognition, so I have to register my face, my ugly face, so I can get in. And you have to do that to the front door, and then the next door to get to the elevators, and then I've got a key card to get to I'll have a key card to get to my room, but you'll need that facial recognition to get into the gym, to get into the pool, to get into the co-working spaces. So it's very secure. But as far as you know, registering a guest, I don't know what the answer to that would be. So Gio says no. Okay. So there you go. There's your definitive answer. Just walk her up to your condo. So I've heard. Thailand is usually guest friendly. Yeah. Philippines is weird. When I moved out of my first condo, I felt like I was a prisoner getting ready for parole. They wouldn't let me leave until the owner of the condo got there to give her the okay, or for her to give the okay for me to leave. And she had to do it in person. It was weird. It was like, what are you afraid of? Are you afraid I'm like ripping you off or what? So Philippines is so weird and maybe backwards in a lot of ways in that way. Also, when a Filipina wants to leave the country, it's really hard for them to leave, especially the first time. They get off-boarded a lot in immigration because they say it's like, well, we don't want you to be trafficked. But really, I mean, say you're a 40-year-old Filipina, are you going to be trafficked? I mean, probably not. It's almost like, I don't know what country is worse trying to leave for the first time if you're a citizen, the Philippines or North Korea. It almost seems like they're neck and neck. But yeah, but you don't have that problem anywhere else. I mean, Thai women can leave their country as long as they have a passport. I think the Philippines passport is probably the hardest passport to travel in Southeast Asia. I wouldn't be bringing back casual female hookups back to your condo. Yeah, you're taking a chance, but to each his own. Check out Travelers Rest Sports Bar in Pattaya for a golf club, 2,000 baht membership, and about 60 to 65 with transportations, caddy, cart included. Nice. That's not bad at all. I'm excited. I want to go. I brought my clubs 2 years ago when I came back from the US. I got my clubs out of storage and brought them back. Excuse me. And I've been on the driving range a few times, but I haven't been on a course yet. So I'm really excited about doing that. The square footage of my new condo will be a little over 40 square meters. So it's a little bigger than this one, but it ticks all the boxes. So I'm really excited about the move. This one's about 30, maybe 32, and it feels small to me. But I originally got this because I was renting a place in Da Nang, Vietnam at the same time. So I wanted to go a little cheaper so I can do both at the same time and just bounce back and forth. This one was a little out of the way. I wanted to initially be away from the center of Bangkok because I didn't want to be tempted by, if I lived right there in that center area of Bangkok, I would be tempted to go out to eat or go out and drink with my buddies every night. And I didn't want that temptation. So I thought, well, if I live farther away, I won't feel like I'll just get on the train and go 35 minutes to get to where I want to be every night. So I can cut that down. And that worked to an extent. It worked where I was only going there, once or twice a day, or once or twice a day, once or twice a week. And so that was helping. But at the same time, now that I have my Thai language school, it's over an hour. It takes me over an hour to get to school from here. Once I move, it'll take me 15 minutes. So I'm saving time and money because literally I'm spending probably 2,000 baht a month on my Rabbit card for the trains, which is about $65. And I'll cut that in probably half. Now, granted, I'll be paying a lot more for my new apartment, my new condo than I am here, but it'll be more convenient for me. I got some guy accused me of living in a bubble here in Bangkok. I don't live in a bubble. I go to the bubble, but here's definitely not a bubble. It is about as far out of the bubble as you can get and still be within Bangkok, so to speak. I live in Samut Prakan, which is the district right to the south of Bangkok. So I am definitely not in a bubble. Very rare that I see another foreigner when I'm walking around here, going to 7-Eleven or going to some of the uh, local restaurants here. There's no Western franchises here. There's no Burger King or KFC or anything like that. So definitely not living in the bubble. I'm moving to the bubble though, but after living out of the bubble for 1 year, I'm back in. Every time I think I'm out, they pull me back in. My fiance has no problems because she didn't give up her Singapore citizenship for that exact reason. Singapore doesn't allow dual citizenship. Oh, okay. No, that's cool. Are you in the same neighborhood as Geo? No, I will be in the Prompong area. He is in Procanon, which is Procanon is a little farther south. So from his stop, the next stop is Ekamai, then Tong Lo, then Prompong. So I'm 3 stops from him. So I looked at a couple of places in that area, but I didn't check all of my boxes. So start practicing. When I get there, we can lose some golf balls. I got a whole bag in the closet here, right over here, of golf balls that I'm just waiting to get rid of. When are you going to be here, Ken? What's my handicap? Any club I use is my handicap. I don't have a handicap. I guess if I thought about it, I'd probably, if I kept track of those things, I'm about a bogey golfer. So, if par is 70 or 72, I'm probably 90 or 92, something like that. That's what I would hit. So if I hit under 100, if I hit double digits on my score, I'm happy. So, but yeah, my handicap is me actually being on the golf course. What's my favorite beer over here? Probably Tiger, which is, I think that's a Singapore beer, but I would say Tiger or Singha. Singha is the Thailand beer that I like the most. Leo's okay. Leo's a little sweet, a little sweeter than the others. Um, I'm not a big fan of Chang. Um, I just don't like the taste of that as well. I'll drink it, but not particularly. That you can get Chang a lot cheaper on happy hour than most other beers, but I don't like it. What else? Let's see. Leo, Singha, Tiger, Chang. There's one I'm missing. I can't remember, but a lot of people drink San Mig Light here, the Philippine beer, because you can't find light beer in the other Thai beers. You can't find it here in any bars. Did you ship your golf equipment or purchase in the Philippines or Thailand? Actually, I brought it with me from when 2 years ago. Last September, 2 years ago, I went back to the U.S. Had to take care of some stuff. I had a college reunion that I went to, but I got my clubs out of storage and I flew back on. It wasn't Air Asia. It was ASEAN Air, I believe it was, and I was able to check in my golf clubs as oversized, and it was under the under the limit of being oversized. So I was able to check my bag in and have them bring it back to the Philippines for free. It didn't cost me any extra. So I got a really good deal on that. And the only reason I brought my clubs back is because of that. Because if I would have had to pay $100 to ship my clubs or whatever it costs, probably wouldn't have been worth it. I probably would have just bought clubs here because my clubs aren't. I mean, they're nice. I like my clubs, but I wouldn't. I don't think I would spend $100+ to ship them. That wouldn't be cost effective. Sounds like they need to spend more time on the course. Yeah, I do. I need to get back there. Actually, I've lost about 15 yards on on every club. I'm about 15 yards shorter, but that's probably because I haven't played for a while, and I'm older. So yeah, this will be the first time I'll actually be able to play on the senior tees if I want to. So that'll be cool. Do I have a girlfriend? No, I do not. I do not have a girlfriend. I'm playing that by ear, just taking it nice and slow. When you see a pretty Thai that doesn't speak any English, what's your come on line in Thai? I don't, I don't have a come on line. Sabadi mai? I don't know. I don't know what my come on line would be. It's very hard to get ping and Titleist in the Philippines. Um, I like TaylorMade. My driver and my 3-wood are TaylorMade. My irons and my hybrids are Adams, and I really like their my hybrids. I like my Adams hybrids. I hit those really really good. So, um, yeah. What else? Let's see. Good thing about being older in golf and you lose distance on your shots. Your mistakes don't go as far. Absolutely. Yeah, I don't slice as nearly as much as I used to when I was younger because I think because I was swinging harder. Because when you're young, you're a man, so you got to grip it and rip it. And now I rarely use my driver even. I hit my 3-wood farther than my driver and a lot straighter. So I'll hit my 3-wood. I normally hit my 3-wood about 215. So if I'm on a par 4 course that's 300 yards or 350 yards, if I can get 100 140 out, I can use my 7-iron and get to the green on my second shot as long as I hit it straight. So yeah. In theory, in average, how much do you spend a month for everything you do? Oh, so my expenses right now, is about $1,300 a month. It'll go up about $300 once I move to my new place, because my rent's going to be higher and I'll have to pay for my Wi-Fi. This Wi-Fi is free. I don't have to pay for my Wi-Fi here. My new place, I'll have to get Wi-Fi, but it's not that expensive here. So it'll probably be about 1,700 on average. Now there's some months where I won't spend as much, if I don't go out as much. Some months where I will spend more, if if I go on a date or go out to eat at an expensive restaurant, whatever the case may be. So, but right at that $1,700 that'll be my average expenses per month. Now, being in my Thai language school for the next year, I won't be doing any international travel, or if I do, it will be very seldom, because with my education visa, you have to, if you leave the country, you have to do a re-entry. You have to pay for a re-entry. Otherwise, you lose your education visa and you have to reapply. And it's not guaranteed that they'll give it to you again. So I don't want to go through all that hassle. And I'll tell you exactly what I went through to get my visa, my education stamp. So I won't be traveling out of the country unless I absolutely have to. But I will be traveling in the country. So I want to do trips to Chiang Mai again. I want to go back there. I want to go up to Chiang Rai. Definitely back to Hua Hin and do some golf. Back to Pattaya. Other places, those are the places I've been to before. I've never been to Phuket, so I want to check out Phuket. I got a friend in my hometown back in Nebraska. His brother owns a bar in Phuket, so I want to go visit him. I want to go to Koh Samui. I've heard it's beautiful there. I want to check out Krabi and Phi Phi and some of those islands too. So there's other places all over Thailand that I can look at in the next year that I'll be traveling to. So, are you self-insured or do you have medical insurance? I do both. So for the minor things, I just pay out of pocket. But I do have the major medical. So if there's something serious that goes wrong with me, that's covered. So. Those budget videos in the Philippines have gotten really ridiculous in the last 2 years or so. The budgets are getting lower and lower. Yeah, and I call BS on 90% of those. I had a guy comment on my video the other day. He says, and it was an old video. It's my one viral video that I got almost to 1 million views now, and it's called The 8 Lies About the Philippines. And basically, it was very positive toward the Philippines. The lie, I was basically debunking some of these lies. And this guy comments, is like, yes, you can live on under 1,000 a month. I live like a king. Blah, blah, blah. He's going on and on droning about how great he lives like a king, but he's bathing in a bucket. It's like, I'm sorry, name me one king in the entire history of the world that bathed in a bucket. So this guy's so full of it. Anyway, I don't know if he may be watching today. I don't care. I'll call out BS when I see it. And that guy was totally full of BS. I don't think I even responded to his comment. It was so ridiculous. Let's see. Hello from Montana, US. It's cold here. It snowed here the other day. Can't wait to get back to the Philippines. You know what's funny? I had a dream last night that I was here in Thailand and it was snowing. I don't know why. I don't know what, that was so random. I don't know what got me thinking about snow. But yeah, I was here in Thailand, Mark, and it was snowing in my dream. So that was kind of bizarre. All right. So what else? You guys have any other questions in chat that you want to ask me? We'll probably go about 2 hours today, and then we're going to go have lunch. Oh, I will tell you, this guy that I got a comment, and I'm posting a video. It's on my members only page right now. So if you're a member, you can watch my latest video. It will go public tomorrow morning. But basically, I was responding to a comment where this guy was talking about. I did a video last week where I was at a Mexican restaurant and I'm sitting outside at the place called Margarita Storm. It's right there on Sukhumvit, Soy 13. And had a good Mexican meal. I had the big burrito, uh, chips and salsa, and a beer. And the total was about 15 US dollars. And the guy accused me of living a lavish lifestyle because I spent $15 on a meal in Bangkok. And I'm thinking $15 isn't really lavish. At least it isn't to me. Um, and I've spent a lot less, obviously. If I do the Thai street food, which I love, and I do, 2 or 3 times a week, I'll spend less than $2. Um, but I've gone far over the $15 on other times where I've gone out to eat. And it just depends, if I go 4 days or 3 days and I eat street food at $2 a day, all that money I'm saving, I can afford to go and have a 15, 20, or $30 meal if I want to and still be within my expenses, that budget that I set up that I want to be around that 1700. So I don't know where he was coming from, but I did a video and basically he asked, why are you living in Thailand if you're spending the same amount of money as you do in the US? So my video, it's not a budget video. It's more of a, this is why I live in Thailand, and it's not more than the US, or it's not as much as I would be spending in the US. And I do a pool side too. So I got that beautiful pool behind me, that infinity pool. So it's kind of funny. But anyway, did you watch the Huskers yesterday? Oh yeah. Unfortunately, Kiki, I did. And it was not a beautiful thing. It was ugly from the get-go. Yeah, not good. Are you going to Vietnam anymore? I will, but not this year, not in the next year, because I've got my education visa and I don't want to leave the country while I'm doing that. My classes are 4 days a week. So I've got a 3-day weekend. I've got Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I can do trips and I could go to Vietnam if I wanted to, but you got to do that reentry thing every time you leave for your education visa. And I just don't want to go through the hassle of that. So, how many hours per day do you attend language school? It's just 2 hours a day. So my class starts at 1:30 and goes till actually goes till about 3:15. 2 hours a day, 4 days a week. I try to go every day. I missed last Tuesday because I was in immigration to get my stamp. Um, I try to go every day. They don't require you to go every day. They say at least come 2 times a week to make sure that you are doing what you need to keep your education visa. If you miss too much, then you'll lose your visa. Every time you extend your education visa, which is every 90 days or 3 months, they check your attendance. And if you're not attending your classes, then they could cancel your visa. So I want to make sure. Plus, if you miss a day, you miss a lot. Um, I missed that Tuesday, and I had to do a lot of catching up to get up to snuff on everything else because our teacher goes through a lot of stuff every day. Do you like Hua Hin or Pattaya more? Um, I think I like Hua Hin more. I think it's a little more laid back. It's more that lifestyle I like. Um, the beach isn't quite as nice as Pattaya, granted that. But I just there's some places I really love. I love hanging out at this place called The Standard and just sitting poolside at their outdoor bar. You got the pool there, you got the live DJ that plays the music during the happy hour on weekends, and then right behind you is the beach, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful kind of neat vibe. There's a lot of neat places um, in Hua Hin to go to, and if you want adult districts, they've got a couple of those in Hua Hin too, not to the extent that Pattaya does. Pattaya just seems a little little gritty, a little too gritty. It's fun to go to every once in a while, but I wouldn't want to make it a regular thing. Hey JJ, first my name is Chris. Enjoy your videos and the information that you provide everyone. I plan on retiring in BKK as well. Just can't do it yet. My question is, do you also have Medicare in the USA? I've got the Part A, I guess, but I didn't sign up for the Part B because you can't use it here really. Um, so I didn't feel like I don't feel like I need to spend that money. Now I could be completely wrong. I may make a huge mistake because if I go back, from what I understand, if I go back to the US and I want to get the Medicare Part B, I think they charge you a penalty for signing up late. So I may have made a mistake with that, but I'll live with it. So a very low scoring game. Yeah, on one side was 24-6, I think was the final. We got 2 field goals. We couldn't even score a damn touchdown. It's ridiculous. Oh, wow. Notre Dame up on USC 34-24. What's the how much left in that game? It's got to be close to being over. I'm a Notre Dame fan too, so you can live in the Philippines for 1,000, but you will live like a backpacker or reside in a pension house. Yeah, exactly. You're not going to live like a king for 1,000. And I personally, there may be some people that are happy and can be happy living on 1,000 in the Philippines. Me personally, I couldn't do it. I would be miserable. I wouldn't like it at all. Just the accommodations and everything. Are you collecting your Social Security yet? Yes, I am. I took it early. Thank you for answering the question. Hey, no problem. Yeah, you might have a different route to take, but that's just the way I went. Um, if I tell you what I did, don't take it as gospel truth or 100% accurate. Everybody's got their own thing. So some people, the Medicare, uh, the extra that they pay for, the Part B, I think it is, it may work for them because maybe they go back to the US more often than I do. I don't know. So almost over now. Okay. That was in South Bend, wasn't it? That game in at Notre Dame. 4 minutes left. Notre Dame is God's team. Yeah, absolutely. Um, I think Marcus Freeman is a great coach, and Notre Dame better extend his contract and pay him a little more money, like Kurt Signetti, like they did at Indiana with him, because that guy. I mean, he did what Brian Kelly couldn't. He got him in the playoffs, and he got him to the finals. And they have 2 losses this year, and both those losses are to top 5 teams. I think Texas A&M and Miami. Well, up until this weekend, Miami got beat. Carson Beck threw 4 picks. So yeah. My Wolverines beat Wisconsin today. I thought Ohio State played Wisconsin. I was thinking Ohio State beat Wisconsin like 34-0, didn't they? Wasn't that them? I could be wrong. Maryland just tied UCLA 17-17, 40 seconds left. See, we beat Maryland. Nebraska beat Maryland. Nebraska beat Michigan State. We had to come from behind both games to beat them. We should have beat them soundly, but it looks more like Michigan State and Maryland may be the 2 worst teams in the Big Ten, because look at what Northwestern did to Purdue. Purdue might be the 3rd worst team. Northwestern beat Purdue handily. UCLA, after they got rid of their head coach, they've been on fire. Of course, 17 points. That's a lot lower than what they have been scoring the last couple of games. But of course, they beat Michigan State, which is a horrible team. And now who knows what's going to happen with Maryland. So we have to play Northwestern next weekend. We play them at home. Then we play USC. Do we play USC? I think we play UCLA on the road. And then we come back and play USC at home. And then we go to Penn State. And what's the Penn State score? Because last I saw, they were up 7-3 on Iowa, at Iowa, I think. And so if Penn State gets out of their doldrums after getting rid of Franklin, now we got another team to worry about. So I don't know. If we don't beat Northwestern next week, I don't know if Nebraska is going to win another game this season. I have 7 years to 62. So just planning now, working on getting things in order. So as soon as I am 62, I can move. All right, cool. Good for you. Good plan. Ohio State beat the Badgers, the Budgers. Yeah, that's what I thought. 34-0. So who's Michigan playing today? In Pattaya, I like playing games with bar girls for a couple hours. Are there bars like that in Bangkok? Oh, where you can sit there and play Foursquare and all that, those games? Yeah, there are. Go down Soi 7, Sukhumvit Soi 7 or 7/1. They've got those bars there. Soi 11's got those bars. So yeah, you can definitely go in there and play those bar games with those girls. So yeah, they've got that. They got that in Hua Hin too. If you go to Wonderland, it's kind of an adult bar area. You can go into those bars and they've got those games so you can play. That's kind of fun to sit around, have a couple of beers with the girls. You know, they're a cute girl. They're fun to talk to. You play your Foursquare with them. Oh, Michigan beat Washington. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I don't think Washington is that good, really. The cream's going to rise to the top. You know, you're going to have the Ohio State. Indiana looks for real. Oregon, it'll be interesting to see what Oregon does. Do they play this weekend or do they have a bye? I think they might have had a bye. And then I can't remember where they play next. But after they got shellacked by Indiana at home, who knows what's going to happen with them. So Iowa beat Penn State 25-24. Wow. Okay. 4 losses in a row for Penn State. When's the last time that happened? That's crazy. Okay. Well, we got into football chat. I ought to start a new channel, just college football talk. Jack says, I'm retiring next year at 55 because I learned to sell options in the stock market. That is a life hack. All you guys need to learn this. Yeah, absolutely. Well, good on you. I wish I could have, I wish I had been in a position to retire at 55. Let's see, at 55, I was just getting divorced and trying to get out of debt. And it took me a while. So yeah, good on you for that. You know, if you do it right, the sooner you can retire, the better it's going to be for you, because then you've got your life ahead of you. You know, Jack, you're 55. That's great. I mean, you've got, as long as you stay healthy, or as long as you are healthy, you got a lot of life left to live. And so live life, my friend. You're in great shape. So yeah, good on you. Let's see what else is going on. Let me tell you so I got my stamp, my education visa stamp, this past Tuesday. So the first time I went to immigration, I met the school people there, the people from the school there, and they gave me my paperwork. They did all the paperwork for me. All I had to bring was my passport and 2,000 baht. So that's what it costs to get the first step going. So I went there, met the school officials at 9 a.m., got in line, got my queue number, and got everything done. And it took about maybe 2.5, 3 hours, I want to say, total. So I was out of there before noon. So that was good. So Then I had to go back. I got this blue slip of paper that had a stamp on it, and that was my application for my education visa. Then you have to go back in 15 days, which was last Tuesday, to get my actual stamp, my approval. So the school said, "You go on your own. We don't need to be there. You go on your own. You go in the same place you went in before. You get a queue number for the same um, area, which was area C, and then they will call your number when it's up, and you take your passport with your blue slip." And you give them the blue slip, and then they give you your stamp. Okay, so I'm thinking, okay, perfect. So I got there early. I got there right at 8:30, right when they were opening. Got in line, got my queue number. It only took about 15 minutes to get my number. Sat there. My number was 99, C99. So I sat in the section that were the C's, and they only had one office that was for the approvals. So I'm looking up and I'm C99, and I felt like Beetlejuice, where he's sitting there in the waiting room, and you got the witch doctor, and his number's like 45, and they're on 44, and then Beetlejuice's number is in like 9,999, whatever, and he switches. I don't know if you remember that movie or not, but I looked at I'm 99, and they're on like 14. I'm thinking, oh my God, this is going to take forever. But it went really fast. I was surprised. It's like, oh, they must just go in, they stamp your passport, and you go and you leave, because you didn't have to pay anything because you already paid. So finally got up to my number, and I go in, and I give her my passport, and I give her my blue slip, and I give her my queue card, or my queue sheet that said C99 on it. And she takes my passport, takes my blue slip, and sets it aside, and she writes on my queue slip, and she gives me that back, and it says 2 p.m. So I said, "What do I do?" She goes, "Come back here at 2 p.m. and we'll have your passport." Well, here it is, like 10:30, and it's like, oh shoot, 2 p.m. So so I left. I went downstairs, and they have a nice little food court downstairs. So I had lunch downstairs, and then I just kind of hung around, had a coffee, went back up about 1 o'clock, and sat there and waited and waited and waited. 2 o'clock comes, so I go up to the front, and it's the same booth that is doing the other. So the same booth I went to before, they're actually doing the approvals too. They're handing out. So like every 15 minutes or so, or 10 minutes, this guy would come out with a stack of passports, and he'd read off your queue numbers. You go, see, and this is 2 o'clock, right? I'm thinking I'm C99, 2 o'clock. I should get that. And he's still in the 80s, C84, C85, C86, C87. And then you go back in, and you come back about 10 minutes later, C88, C89, C90. So it wasn't until about 2:30 when they finally got my number called, and I got my passport. But so I spent the entire day. So I took Grab from my place at 7:30, got there at 8:30. So it took an hour to get from Grab to get there. And then I decided I wanted to be cheap Charlie going back. So I didn't pay for the Grab, which is about $15. So I took the trains. So I took a bike, 60 baht bike ride to the BTS station. And then from there, I took the train back. It took me about 2 hours to get back, because I'm way on the south end of Bangkok in Samut Prakan. They're way up north in the far north end of Bangkok, which where immigration office is. So it took me about 2 hours to get home. So from leaving at 7:30 in the morning, I got back about 4:30 at night. So 9 hours. It was a full day. But I got my stamp, so I'm happy. I'm good. I'm good to go now. So anyway, let's see, where are we at here. UCLA just beat Maryland on a last-second field goal. Wow, they've won 3 in a row now, right? They're 3-4 after going 0-4, and everybody's saying they're the worst team in the country. Yeah, Maryland's not good. Michigan State's not good. So I'm worried Nebraska's beaten the two worst teams in the Big Ten and lost to two other teams. So I don't know. The only advice I can give is don't attend your pre-divorce ceremony. Right. Exactly. Hey, Alan. Hi again from Kalinga, Luzon. I heard the Ring of Fire is coming alive that is causing all these earthquakes here in the Philippines. Yeah. Well, I think it's all that activity that's going on in the sun, all those solar flares and stuff. I think that's affecting what's going on with earthquakes because it's happening not just in the Philippines, but all over, but especially in the Philippines. I mean, it's going on. They had another 6.0 yesterday, I heard. So, my God, 9 hours. Yeah, yeah, it was crazy, but it's done, and it won't be like that every 3 months now. I think it'll be a little different. So hopefully, but we'll find out. But it's worth it. I don't have to worry about doing border runs or anything like that now. So that's the nice thing about having my education visa. Don't have to worry about leaving every 90 days and worrying about being able to get back in the country. So, all right, guys. We're just over an hour. We'll go another hour as long as we got people on board. We got 24 on now. Let's see. We've been talking a lot about college football, talking about my visa experience. That was interesting. My Thai language school is going really well. I'm happy with my progress. It's not easy. I will tell you that. And the thing that's not easy is learning the consonants. You know, basically the alphabet, and knowing what those mean. When they write sentences, they don't put space between words. It's all run together. So if you see anything in Thai, it's all run together. That's not just one word. That could be an entire sentence. So, but I've got to basically memorize what each letter means and how to pronounce it. That's the tough part because there's like 44 consonants, and I've only probably memorized maybe a dozen so far. So I got a ways to go. So, but it's been fun, and it's been interesting. And I try to use Thai when I'm out in public and talking to, a waitress or somebody in retail or somebody on the street, whatever. I try to speak Thai to them, so so I can practice basically. Another NFL game in London today. Yeah, I don't get that. I mean, I get it that they want people around the world to watch American football because, if you look at football, European football, or soccer as we call it in the States, it's worldwide. American football is kind of American, but they're trying to make it worldwide. Do you think digital currency is in the future? Wife and I just started to invest, experimenting. Well, I am no expert, so don't go by me, but I think it is. I think eventually it's going to head to that. They're already trying to make those changes. The governments are trying to do everything digitally and get rid of currency. So who knows? Can you get a Thai bank account with an Ed Visa? Yes, you can, because an education visa is a non-immigrant visa. So as a non-immigrant visa, I can open up a Thai bank account with no problem. I will do that next week, and I will let you know how it goes. Because just because it says, oh, you're a non-immigrant visa, you can open up a Thai bank account, doesn't mean it's going to happen. But I'll let you know how that goes next week when I do that. But yeah, it's not a tourist visa. So if you're on a tourist visa, technically you're not allowed to open up a bank account here. Same with a DTV, Destination Thai Visa. Visa is an outstanding visa to have. I think Gio's getting one. I just watched a video of his this morning. He's going that route, but that's still a tourist visa. So there's some restrictions that go along with that. One of them is not being able to open a Thai bank account. Now, that's been done in the past, and you're seeing a lot of problems now with these foreigners on DTVs that are getting their bank accounts frozen because they were opened and they shouldn't have been. So, yeah. But with an education visa, I should be okay. European football is going to start playing games abroad now. AC Milan have agreed to play a game in Perth. Yeah, so you do have the European Football League, which is like American football. A lot of players that can't make the NFL go there. Barcelona have agreed to play a game in Miami. Oh, wow, that's interesting. I wonder what the draw is going to be on that. How many people are going to go watch that game? I don't know. That'd be weird. I don't think I would. It's like we've already got NFL, we've got USFL. Isn't there another game, or is the USFL done? I don't know. I don't even know. I don't keep track too much. With the current exchange rate, what do you get for $1 USD? It's about 32.5 baht right now. I haven't looked at it today. Let me see. Hang on a second. It kind of fluctuates between 32 and 33. I don't see it here. Hold on a second. Let me bring up my exchange here. Last I looked, it was like 32.44. I think that was yesterday's. According to my real-time currency app, it's 32.74. 32.745, so 32.75. That's better than it has been. Let me go see what Wise's numbers are, because I use Wise to transfer. That's how I pay my rent using Wise. Let's see. Stand by. Oops. Hang on. Here we go. Okay, so $1 US. 30 okay, same thing. 32.745. So it's the same thing. So that's better than it has been for maybe in the last 3 or 4 months. It's been close to 32. It might have gotten below 32 at one time. So 32.74. So when I am out and I try to think in terms of baht to US dollars, I use this simple math. I just times it by 3 and take off and I move the decimal point over 2. So if you go and you see something that's 100 baht, just times it by 3. So that's 300 baht, and then move the decimal point over 2. That's $3. So in Vietnam, it's about 4 times. So Vietnam is, you times it by 4, and then you move your decimal over. So, and then in the Philippines, it's basically double, 2 times. But the Philippine peso is really weak against the dollar right now. So I think the last time I looked, it was like almost 58 pesos to the dollar. So that would be the one redeeming quality of living in the Philippines, is you get more bang for your buck. But I think inflation's hitting a little harder in the Philippines than it is here in Thailand. I'm referring to soccer. Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about European football. Okay, I got you. Okay. Yeah, soccer's huge worldwide. So it'll probably get isn't the World Cup in LA, I think LA next year or somewhere in the US next year whenever the World Cup goes. The reason's money. It's always comes down to the almighty dollar. Do you think about what things cost using US dollars or Thai baht? I well, I think I just mentioned that, but I don't think of it the best thing to do when you move here or anywhere, don't think in US dollars anymore or don't think in your home currency anymore. Think in the local currency. The sooner you are able to do that, the better you'll be at understanding your budget. So when I go out, if I see something that's like a beer, say if I want to get a pint of beer and if it's 100 baht or less, that's a pretty good deal to me. If it gets over 100 baht, like 140 baht for a beer, that's too expensive. And I don't even convert that in my mind anymore. I just think, 100 baht, right around there, give or take 5, even 10 baht. I'm okay with paying that price. I'm not going to pay 140 or 150 baht for a beer, for a pint of local beer, unless it's like a really good craft beer or it's a Guinness. I'll pay more for Guinness, but I kind of look at it that way. So, like, if I go out for a meal and say it's like 400 baht for a meal, I'm like, that's on the border. That's borderline, And once in a while, if it's a good meal, I'll spend that. Generally, I look at something. If I look at a menu and I see something for under 300 baht, I'm okay with that. That's kind of my budget range. Now, on occasion, I will spend more. That maybe I'll spend 500 or 600 baht for a meal. If it's a really, really good meal, but I don't do that very often. So, if I go to a street vendor and I'm paying 35 to 60 baht for a meal, that's a good price to me. But if you go to a street vendor and you're getting street food and you're paying 90 or 100 baht, that's probably not a good deal. So anyway, I hope that answers your question. I use Remitly every month to send my pension from US Bank. Fee is $4.95. Yeah, Remitly's good. I've got that too as a backup. The nice thing about Wise is I've got a virtual debit card, so I can put money in my Wise account if I want to use that. But my bank card works, everywhere. I've never in the almost 4 years I've lived in Southeast Asia, I've never had an issue with my bank card or my credit cards for that matter. Knock on wood. But yeah, I've never had an issue with that. So I've been lucky, I guess. I had a friend that he got locked out of his bank and he had to fly back to the US to go in there in person to get it taken care of, which that would suck. I used a currency converter app. It also gives the fees of banks. Oh, cool. The World Cup will be in the US and Canada next year and Mexico, I think. Oh, wow. Cool. Based on your knowledge, it is what it is, my knowledge of the Bangkok rental market, how easy would it be to find a condo in Sukhumvit with a Western kitchen that would allow a renter to install a water filter? Um, kind of tell me what you mean by Western kitchen. Are you talking like with a stove and oven? Because there's not a lot of stove oven combos in Asia. You can find those. Both the condos I lived in the Philippines had ovens, which was kind of cool. I like that. Um, if that's what you mean, I'm not sure what you mean by Western kitchens. And you can install filtration systems pretty easily, I would think. I don't think it takes much. Um, I don't know how extravagant you want as far as your filter. So when you said your budget is 1,700 a month, you are doing that for us, but you think in Thai baht. Yeah, well, so I think in Thai baht, um, So when I I break it down, each item, each thing I pay for, I think in Thai baht. So like my rent right now is 12,500 baht a month. That will be doubling when I move to Phrom Phong. I'll be paying 25,000 baht a month. When I was looking for places to live, that's one of the things I said, I don't want to pay more than 25,000. That was my limit, 25,000 baht a month. This place I'm moving into, they were asking 30,000 and I got them down to, I negotiated to 25,000. So it worked for me. So on an individual basis, each item that I pay for, I think in baht. So my budget. So here's what I'm going to be doing when I get my bank account. I'm going to be transferring 65,000 baht a month into my bank account, and that's my budget. That's basically, I don't want to spend more than that 65,000 a month, and hopefully less, a lot less. So that's basically how I look at it. So I guess on the overall, the 1700 was, yeah, kind of speaking in terms of what everybody would understand. I get so much flack because I sometimes I tend to, in videos, I tend to mix the currencies. Like 1 minute I'll say something in baht, and the next minute I'll say it in US dollars, something else. And I guess that could be confusing. And I apologize in advance if I do it again. So have you given any more thought to that new channel you were talking about? Which channel is that? I've I haven't, there's been a couple of channels I thought about doing, but I haven't really thought about, haven't really thought too much into it. I've been trying to keep this channel going, and I've been busy with that. So, have you been to Gagan? Gagan. I don't know where that is. Tell me what Gagan is, and I'll tell you if I've been there. I know I haven't been there. I would know. Stove, oven, dishwasher. Okay, so stove. Most of the stoves are the little the little cook areas. Those things. Once in a while, you get an oven. Very, very rare that you'll find a dishwasher. That's extremely rare to find a dishwasher. Now, you might be able to if you look hard enough, but I think those condos are probably going to be real high end, Western style luxury condos that you're going to pay a lot of money for, more than I can afford. So, how about Sra Bois? I don't know any of those places. Hey, JJ, 79 minutes late. Oh, well, better late than never, right? 760 a month rent. 761. Is that what the current exchange rate is? Let's see. If I go 25,000. Yeah, 760, 763 a month. Yeah. But it fluctuates. So that's why I don't think about the US dollars as much anymore, because the exchange rate fluctuates so much daily. You recently were looking at condos. Sometimes in Thailand, they call them European kitchens. Yeah. Yeah. And that would be probably what he's saying, what he means by Western kitchens, with the stove, the oven, dishwasher, big refrigerator, but I've found, I haven't used a dishwasher since I moved here 3.5 years ago, and I don't miss it. It's never an issue. Sometimes you think you need things that you actually don't, and when you become more of a minimalist like me, um, and I'm by far a quote unquote true minimalist. I still like my amenities, but I don't need the dishwasher. The oven would be nice. It would be nice to have an oven again. That I do miss, but only a couple of times a year would would I ever use it? Um, but yeah, I don't need that huge refrigerator because I don't buy that much food anymore. So there's things that you don't really need that you think you do when you live in the West because you're trying to keep up with everybody else, and everything you see on TV is talking about the biggest and the best things. So yeah, I'm going to head off going to the airport at 1 p.m. Take care, everyone. Channel about college football. Oh, I might. I don't know. It's kind of too late in the season to start that. I thought about doing one on Nebraska football and then one on Big 12 or Big 10 football with a buddy of mine who's a big Ohio State fan. But I kind of got a little too late for that, a little too late in the dance for that. Maybe next year. Fred Quinn, most condos you see listed on many of the apps don't have functional kitchens. Thumbs up. Yes, please give me a thumbs up, guys. I would appreciate that. Um, Helps the algorithm. Small sink, cold water only, 2 burners, mini fridge. Yeah, all of those. You don't like my kitchen here is very small. It's got a smaller refrigerator, probably about 5 foot tall. It's about this high off, from me. But it's got a freezer, real freezer. It doesn't have the little box freezer. Uh, it's got a small kitchen sink, just one sink, cold water, no hot water. Now, there are some condos that the hot water heater is connected to all the sinks and shower. So, like the last place I lived in the Philippines was that. So I had hot water in my bathroom sink, bathroom shower, obviously, kitchen sink, so I could wash my dishes in hot water if I wanted to. You don't have that here at this one, and yeah, not it doesn't happen very often, but you can find that. Gagan Anand, famous chef, fun dining experience. Oh, it's a restaurant. Okay, that's in Bangkok. Gagan Anand. Okay, I will check that out. What about H2O? Do you buy those big bottles? That seems inconvenient. I buy right now where I'm at now. I buy these big jugs. About it's probably two 2 or 3 gallons, maybe 5 liters, maybe, and it lasts me. I only use it for I'll put some cold water in the fridge for drinking, and use it for coffee. Heat up for coffee. That's really about all I use it for. When I move, I'll have to rethink and maybe get the big jugs like I used to get in the Philippines. I used to get those huge jugs, and then I had a pump that pumped it out from the top. But I'll see what options I have when I move there. Kiki did it again, gifted 5 memberships. Kiki, before you leave, I got to tell you, I looked at your members that you gifted last week. Of course, they're random, so you have no control, but you'll never guess who one of them was. It was Sick Grandpa. So Sick Grandpa is now a member on my channel. I thought that was so funny, that he was actually watching my live stream. So he got outed. You outed him by accident. So, but thank you for for gifting the 5 memberships. So that's cool. Very good. Living in the Kalinga province is like glorified camping, but I love it. Yeah, it basically is. I lived on a farm in my youth for a little while, and it was very primitive. We had no indoor toilet. We had to go to use an outhouse outdoors. We're talking in the early to mid 60s here, guys. So, but yeah, so it was probably like living in the provinces in the Philippines. And back then, when you're a kid, you don't mind it. You don't think anything of it because that's all you've ever thought about. Um, but now it's like, no, I don't. If I don't need it, if I don't have to live that life, I won't live that life. So Give membership 5 people before I go. Yeah. You already gave one to sick grandpa, so take care, everyone. Yeah, thanks, Kiki and Jasmine. Appreciate you. Here in Kalinga, anything over 200 a month renting is too much, but you're over an hour drive from Western Items. We order off from shopping. Yeah. What about hospitals? How close are you to medical facilities? I mean, real good medical facilities. That would be my biggest concern living in provinces. That's funny. Yeah. Maybe sick grandpa will leave you alone now, JJ. Maybe, I don't know. He hasn't. I figured after watching my live last week, I figured he was going to post something about me this past week, but I haven't seen anything. Of course, I don't get a lot of notifications on his channel anymore. So that's funny though. Yeah. So because like Mark Thornton from Every Man Has a Story, he lived up in, where did he live? He was about an hour away from Dumaguete Hospital, or the hospital in Dumaguete. And I got to think, when he had that stroke, I got to think if he was living closer, he may still be alive today. But I can't say one way or another, but yeah, I would think that would be an issue if you've got poor health, or if an emergency happened, you couldn't get to hospitals right away. So that's the number one reason why I don't live in small villages or small towns or provinces. It's that I want to be, even though my health is good and I've never had any issues, you just never know. I want to be close. Bangkok, that's why I'm in Bangkok, because it's great. That's why I lived in BGC, because St. Luke's Hospital, I could walk there if I needed to. So, we have 5 good hospitals very close by, but has old equipment. Population here is about 150,000. Okay. All right. Well, hopefully it's good enough, to help if there's any emergencies or anything comes up with your health. So yeah. Okay, guys, what else is on your mind? I could do I think before I go today, I'm going to do an oddly specific prediction. I may do that with every live stream I do. I'll do an oddly specific prediction on my channel. So stand by at the end of this video and end of this live stream. I'll do my first oddly specific prediction. That's what we'll call it. And I already know what I'm going to do. So, what about getting your health checked before living in the province? Well, yeah, I mean, that's always a good option. But I'm not talking about moving there if you already have bad health or poor health. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't move to a province if my health was poor to begin with. But I'm talking about if an emergency came up, like Mark Thornton had a stroke. I mean, how you can't predict that. I mean, I don't know if there's a health test that you can do that would say, oh, you're going to be susceptible to strokes. Now, I could be wrong, but if there's an emergency, say you got in a motorcycle accident, you broke your leg, you had a severe break in your leg or something, and or you got an accident where you cut an artery or something, whatever, where you have to get to a medical facility really quick. If you're in the middle of the provinces, that doesn't matter if it's Philippines, Vietnam, Thailand, doesn't matter. If you're far away from medical facilities, you're running the risk. And so that's why, to me, that's number one. When you talk about your health, knock on wood, don't jinx yourself. Yeah, that's what I did. This is my wood, my wooden head. I don't have any wood around here. Um, yeah, superstition. I've had that superstition since I was a little kid. I don't know why. I still think that way. The best part of having a medical emergency in the Philippines is that you will not suffer. You'll die for lack of services. Yeah, maybe. Well, depending on what. I mean, what was the line in Moneyball that Brad Pitt said? He said, which it was a scene that I always used in my profession when I'm recruiting. And basically, when you get a yes, you hang up. And the other guy, Noah, he goes, "Oh, I think he was going to say something else." And Brad Pitt goes, "When you get a yes, you hang up." And then he's talking to him about cutting a player because it's a baseball movie, right? And he goes, "You got to do it quick and painless." He goes, "Well, that seems a little insensitive." And Brad Pitt goes, "Tell me this: would you rather get a bullet to the head or 5 in the stomach and bleed out?" And no, the other guy goes, "Are those my only 2 choices?" But, so yeah, I would think, with having a medical emergency, yeah, if you get a quick death, then you're okay, but if it's something that's gonna linger and you're gonna bleed out or something, that's probably not a good, not a good idea to live in the Philippine provinces or any province. I'm not so sure Western medicine is any good anymore. Yeah, I mean, you never know. The problem is, here's the problem with Western medicine, or at least in the US. Watch TV and count the number of advertisements or commercials on Western TV that are pharmaceutical. And then you tell me that you don't think that major media is not going to back pharmaceuticals, regardless of whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, because 80% of their income is from pharmaceuticals. So that in itself is just, to me, is kind of scary. But Ray Wolf, Ray Wolf, yeah. Ambulances here have no medical equipment. Basically, it's just to transport. Yeah, yeah, I've heard that too. I went to the emergency room and did not even see a doctor, just nurses. Wow. Oh, you're talking in the US. Yeah, in the US, you rarely see a doctor. It's either just a nurse or a nurse practitioner. You rarely see a doctor. Even if you go, this is the thing I don't like about the US medicine. Say I have a lung infection. Say I know I've got bronchitis. I can't just go to a specialist, and they won't let you in. You have to go to your general practitioner. So you go there, and then he sees you, and he charges you $100 or whatever it is now to see you, and then he will refer you to a specialist. So you can go there, and the specialist can tell you exactly what you already knew, and he'll charge you whatever he charges you to get your medicine. Why can't I just go into, like in Vietnam, I can walk into a pharmacy and say, I've got bronchitis, here are my symptoms, and she'll give me the medication I need. The pharmacist will, no problem. They don't have to pay $100 to my general practitioner doctor, and then another 100 or 200 or whatever it is to the specialist to basically prescribe me the drug that I already knew I needed. So that's the problem with the US and the medical problems there. Home remedies really do work here. Yeah. And it's organic. Yeah. So the pharmacist gave me these mushrooms um, to use to make tea with. So I do that every morning, and that really helped too. That was in Vietnam. Profit over patience. Absolutely. Greetings from Kolipi. I hope I pronounced that right. Good diving here. Oh, okay. I'll tell my friend Mike. I got a buddy that loves to dive, and he would definitely like to hear that. So, cheers to you and the community on this channel. Go Mariners! Oh, okay. So Kolipi, am I pronouncing that right? Where exactly is that? Let me bring it up on Google Maps. Kolipi. How long have you lived there? Or are you just staying there for the diving? Ooh, Sunset Beach. That sounds cool. Okay, so where is Kolipi? I'm going to look it up here, guys. Hang on just a second. Where is it? Oh, it's up. Oh, it's way south. Way south of Phuket. Okay, south of PP, south of Krabi. It's a tiny little island in the southwest part of Thailand. It's closer to Georgetown, Malaysia than it is to, well, about the same distance to Phuket. But how do you get there? I would be interesting to know, Mark, how you get to that little tiny island. Do you have to take a boat, or is there a little tiny airport there too? Big Dumper. What? I don't know what Big Dumper is. The choice of vagabond versus living in a house seems to lean toward vagabond winning for the most. Doctor's visit here cost me only $5. Yeah. Do you have any experience with full moon parties? No, I do not. At least not yet. Lipe. Okay, so it's Kolipe. Kolipe. Okay, cool. Now, how do you get there? That's the number one question on my, because I'm going to travel all over Thailand in the next year while I'm doing my education visa. I want to check out Koh Samui, PP, Krabi, Phuket, and then now Koh Lape. But how do you get there? Can you fly in? That would be a long boat ride if you took a ferry. It looks like a pretty long way. In America, doctors love prescribing drugs you don't really need and overcharging your insurance as much as possible. Healthcare in Bangkok is cheap. Yeah, so a couple of things. First of all, my mother, God rest her soul, she died of emphysema from smoking. But she was so over medicated, and it just seemed like every time she had a little ailment, the doctor would prescribe another medicine for her, and before you knew it, she was taking 8 or 10 different pills a day, and you could tell she wasn't herself. Her mind was not where it should have been. She was only 60 when she died. Exactly 1 month from her 61st birthday. So she was way over medicated. The other thing I wanted to say about that is I had a friend that sold pharmaceuticals back when I was living in Indianapolis. And he would tell me he would go into a doctor's office, and the staff would know when he came in, they would know, because he had all these freebies he would give to the staff. The front desk lady, that was the key holder, the gatekeeper, so to speak. So he knew if he gave her favors that he could get in to see the doctor. And then the doctor would get all these kickbacks from the pharmaceutical every time he prescribed their medicine. So, say they had a medication for a certain ailment that other pharmaceutical companies had the same thing for. Well, if the doctor would prescribe his over the others, the doctor would get a kickback from the pharmacy. So it's all a big cash cow thing, and it was just it really soured me. So I make it a point not to take medicine if I don't have to. I take ibuprofen when I have a headache or muscle pain, and I take an allergy pill once a day. That's it. Um, if I get really sick and if I need an antibiotic, I'll go that route, but I rarely go anything else besides that. What do you do for entertainment outside your home? You mean directly outside my home or just in Bangkok in general? Directly outside my home, there's not much for entertainment. I'm in the boonies. Um, there's a couple of fast food or not fast food, street food stalls outside my condo. So probably a couple of times a week I'll eat some street food. Like there's an older couple that they're there every day except for Saturdays, and they cook chicken. They do fried chicken, and I'll buy their fried chicken. It's really good. It's only like 20 baht a piece, so that's like 60 cents US. So I'll get that a couple of times a week, and they're super sweet people. There's a couple of Thai family restaurants around the corner that I'll eat at. Once a week or once every other week there. Um, if I take this train, which is the MRT Yellow Line, I take that from Tipawan, which is my stop, to the Sukhumvit BTS, which is the Samrong. If I go up one stop from there to Bering, there's a neat little night market there that has good food, cheap beer, and live music. They'll either do a DJ or a band and on weekends, and it's kind of neat because I'm basically I go there, I'm the only foreigner, everybody else is local, and all the music's in Thai. They do all Thai music, and the people are so fun to watch because they're all singing along with the Thai music, and it's like they hear these songs. It's like with us, if we're an American, we hear Sweet Caroline, we sing along to that, or we hear Take Me Home Country Roads, which, by the way, those two songs are played a lot by the Thai bands here in Bangkok. We'll sing along to that. So it's the same thing. They hear a Thai song that they're familiar with, and they'll sing along, and it's kind of a neat environment. So that's kind of my local venues. But if I get down on if I get down on Samut, let's try that again. If I get down on a Sukhumvit Road in more of the touristy areas, there's good bars that have live music there. So there's one in Prakanon, which is behind the W District, which is kind of an outdoor restaurant area. There's a bar called Fishbone. It's a very small bar, but they have good live music, especially Thursday night. The band on Thursday night is really, really good. And it's ladies' night, guys. Or you can go to, sometimes O'Shea's on the rooftop. They'll do a live band on a Friday night. If you go down on Soy 11, Sukhumvit 11, Hillary 11 has good live music. All along Sukhumvit 4, the Nana area, they've got bands in like every other bar. They've got good live music. If you go farther north on Sukhumvit to Victory Monument stop, the BTS there, right around the corner there is Saxophone Pub, which has great music, great blues, jazz, even country. So they've got great options there. So live music's my thing. I love going to see live music, and then just hanging out with some friends, once or twice a week, going out, going somewhere to eat, because I love food. And so going out somewhere to eat or going to have a couple of beers with some buddies and just shooting the shit, basically, or watching some good live music. Or you can do the adult thing too. I'm not big into that so much, but sometimes it's fun to go to an adult bar and buy a girl a drink and have her flirt with you, and that's always nice every once in a while. But or you can pay the bar fine if you want to do that. So, ever visit Koh Bulong? I've never visited. Philip, yes, therapeutic means lifelong meds. Yeah, exactly. Will they approve me for an education visa at Soy Cowboy? Maybe. I don't know. What are you trying to learn? Why don't you do more live nightlife content? I can if you want. I could do that. The problem with doing if I go out during the night, if I'm out at these adult areas, they don't like it if you're videotaping. So I try to avoid that, just out of respect for the girls that have to work those jobs. But I can do more content with that. If you guys want that, let me know. I'm more than happy to do that. Is your plan to live in Asia the rest of your life, never moving back to the US? I don't see me moving back to the US, unless something drastic would happen in my life, that would make me need to move back. Um, I, if I'm looking in the foreseeable future, I don't see me moving. Right now, I'm in Bangkok for at least a year because of the Thai language school. Um, and then I plan on doing the retirement visa after my education visa is over. But that could change after a year when I'm done with my Thai language and my education visa is done. That could change. I may get that bug again to move somewhere else. So who knows? But right now, in the foreseeable future, Thailand and Bangkok is where I want to be. Doctors don't like to prescribe the medications that have patents expired, um, even if they are good. Off patent, they can't. Um, they can't change. They can't charge 10 times more. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I got scammed in Soy Cowboy and there was no recourse. What was your scam? If you'd like to share, would love to know. It might be a good video to do. Low dose aspirin. No, I don't take aspirin because I have my blood's thin as it is. So I don't need to thin it anymore. So can you recite the alphabet as you know it now? No. um, I don't know if there's an order that they do the alphabet like we learn A B C D E F G. You know, I think that our teacher said there was a song that you can get that recites the, but but I could tell you a couple of Gorgai, uh, Korkai, Korkwa, Korkwan, Korkai, Korkon. Um, there's others. I'll be boring you if I went through all of that, but it's all and it's tonal too. So like there's five cores. There's core quai, core kai, and then there's core, which is flat, no accent, no tone, basically. So you've got those things. It's hard to explain. If I had my book handy, I could show you, but you'd be bored. Zombie by Cranberries also played a lot. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Those three songs probably are the most Western songs played here in Bangkok and in the Philippines for that matter. You got Zombie by the Cranberries. You've got Take Me Home Country Roads by John Denver. And you've got Neil Diamond, Sweet Caroline. Those are probably the three most played Western songs in Southeast Asia. What is the best way to explore Thailand for the first time, or maybe somewhere else in Southeast Asia for starters? I guess it depends what you want. I mean, if you like city life, I would just fly in and stay, as long as you can in Bangkok or in Ho Chi Minh City or Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, or wherever. Um, if you like beaches, fly to a nice beach area. I like Da Nang, Vietnam. I've been there, stayed there for 3 months straight, and just love the beach there. It's beautiful, but it just kind of depends on what you're looking for. If you like getting in the mountains, hiking in the mountains, maybe go up to Chiang Mai or Chiang Rai and do some expeditions or whatever, do some tourist stuff there. But just kind of depends on what you're looking for. If you like the adult stuff, Pattaya maybe would be the choice, or Phuket. Yeah, Phuket in Pattaya, you get the beach and you get the adult stuff. Learning the language will 100% improve your quality of life in Thailand. It did it for me. Oh, good. Awesome. Um, would you how fluent would you consider your Thai language right now? And did you take classes or did you just learn on your own, Ricky? Do women approach you being only foreigner? They do me when sitting in my car, but when I tell them sorry, my wife is shopping, they run fast. In the Philippines, they did, especially in the provinces. You're kind of ignored in the bigger cities. They don't really pay much attention to you. But in the provinces, yeah, you're kind of a novelty. I vote yes on more nightlife videos. Okay. Also, I like videos which include costs of entertainment and eating. Okay. All right. You got it. I will do that. I'm planning a trip for a few months. Where should I go in Southeast Asia to get started? Well, like I said, depends what you're looking for. I don't know. I don't know what you got to give me a little more information on, if you want that adult lifestyle, you want the city life, you want more rural, mountains, beaches. I mean, there's so much here all over. And to be honest, guys, I've only been I've been in Southeast Asia for 3.5 years now, almost 4 years. I've been traveling to Southeast Asia for 10 years, mostly in the Philippines, but I haven't been all over Southeast Asia. So I haven't been to Malaysia. I've been to Singapore once. I've been to Vietnam a few times, obviously the Philippines, and lived there, and here in Thailand. But I've never been to Cambodia or Laos or Indonesia. So those places I have yet to visit, and so I can't really give you any information or anything on those places. So there may be better places than where I've been. Great job. Applause, applause. Yeah. Thanks for being a member, by the way, Dave. Appreciate that. Um, should I get a vasectomy before coming out to Southeast Asia? If you want. I mean, I got a vasectomy years ago when I was still married back in the States. I don't know. I mean, here's the thing. I mean, for me, if I'm going to be promiscuous and kind of sleep around with women, I'm going to wrap up anyway. So it doesn't matter if I have a vasectomy or not. That's not the issue to me. Is not whether I'm can get a woman pregnant or might get somebody pregnant. The issue to me is um, um, safety as far as transmittable diseases. I don't want to risk that. So I'm going to wrap up no matter what if I go that route. I just translated what you said in Thailand. Me love you a long time. Yeah. I'm looking for budget traveling. Okay. Probably fly into maybe Manila or Cebu in the Philippines. Um, if you come to Thailand, fly into Bangkok and then go to Hua Hin, very cheap. You got a beach there. Um, fly into go into Da Nang, Vietnam. You got a beautiful beach, very cheap to live there or to stay there. So that would be the options I would choose from my experiences. I did the Ed Visa like you back in 2022. I could say I'm intermediate conversation thanks to my girlfriend. Biggest difference it made was open up a much wider dating pool for me. Absolutely. Yeah, it's tough when 70% of the women you see online don't speak English well here in Thailand. So the conversation when you're meeting in person can be a little awkward having to use your phone for translation. That can be, you have to have a lot of patience for that. Adult, no city. Adult, no. City, yes. Rural, no. Not for starters. Okay. So maybe Cebu in the Philippines. You can live, well, when you say city, yes. How big a city are you talking about? Because Da Nang is city, but it's not huge. It's not like Ho Chi Minh City or Bangkok. And you can live there cheap. Hua Hin is city. It's a small city. I think only like 65,000 people. But you do have a beach, and you do have Grabs. You can get around there, and it's cheap to stay there. So you've got those things. Have you been to Cambodia? Sure looks interesting. I have not been to Cambodia. I'll go next year after my education visa's wrapped up. Had friends visiting me and wanted to check out Soy Cowboy. We went to a bar called Deja Vu. They basically padding our bill, added extra 5,000 baht. I think they thought we were too drunk to notice. Did you? Yeah. So here's a tip: when you go to any of those bars in Soy Cowboy or Nana, pay as you go. Don't accumulate a bill, because then you might run into that issue. If they think you're a novice, or if they think you're too drunk to notice, they'll add money. So when you buy a beer, pay for it right then. Pay for it each time. That way you're not collecting more. You're not adding to a bill, and you don't run into that problem. That's my big advice for those places. When we disputed, they got really aggressive, threatening violence. Yeah. Yeah, they'll do that. You got to be careful. Okay, guys. We're right over 2 hours, and I think I got some buddies. We're going to go to lunch today. So let me check and see. Let me look here, see if I've heard anything from these guys yet. Nothing yet. They're probably just finishing up golf. Let me see. Yes. Okay, so I think they finish up golf at noon. So we'll go a little longer. We got 32 on, so that's good. Yeah, we'll go a little longer. If you guys have any other questions or any comments on chat, feel free. Make sure you hit that like button, guys. It really helps the algorithm. I appreciate that. Alan says, "Have a good day or night, everyone. Stay safe." Thanks, Alan. We'll stay on. So if you want to keep hanging in there, we'll do that. Thanks for the answers. No problem, Steve. Thanks, JJ. No problem. Let's keep going. I mean, we got 32 on. We'll keep going. I don't mind. They're going to lunch at noon, so I'll go another half hour if everybody's still on. Covered a lot. We talked about my education visa. Let me get my camera right here. Let me shut off my tracking. Okay, that's good enough. Talked about my ed visa, talked about the issues I had or the time it took to get it in immigration. Let me see. We talked a lot of football today. We talked budget, basically. Have fun. Catch you all later. 100% pay as you go. Yeah, absolutely. 100%. I am number 20 on thumbs up. Awesome. Only 20. We still have 30 on. So, oh, Ray, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate you, man. The money I make on these, and I don't beg, a friend of mine, Evan, he's in Da Nang, Vietnam. His channel is Evan A. He's from Canada, but he has a channel, and he told me one time, he goes, "You won't get it if you don't ask." It's like, you know what? I don't do a lot of sponsorships. I don't do a lot of collaborations for money. I don't do a lot of that stuff. It's not about making money on this channel. Everything I make here, like this $20 that Ray just gave me, that's going right back into the channel. So I've got to upgrade my gimbal. And if you don't know what a gimbal is, it's a stabilizing. So I put my camera on my phone on the gimbal, and it's 3 axis, so it stabilizes. So when I walk around, I just got every time I put my hand up, my little guy wants to move around. I'm okay now. Anyway, so I need a new gimbal because the gimbal I've got now is a cheap one and only costs like $50. And the battery life isn't very good anymore. And one of the axes is kind of acting up. So I need to upgrade on that. So any money I make on the AdSense where the ads play on my videos and these super chats, I'll put right back into the channel to hopefully make your experience watching my videos a better experience. So that's why I do that. But thank you so much, Ray. I appreciate that. Have a bowl of rice on me, brother. Absolutely. Maybe more than one. So with 500 Thai baht, what would you eat for the day? If I would eat anywhere and had 500 Thai baht, well, like I had the Mexican dinner last week, and I had the burrito with the chips and salsa and the beer, and that was right at 500 Thai baht. So you can eat pretty good for 500. I could eat street food for a week on 500 baht, probably. Absolutely, I could. So, yeah, it would be it'd be pretty easy. Have you found a genuine massage place you like with legit massages? Ever do the ice baths or deprivation chamber in Bangkok? I have not done those. Um, I'm not big on massages. I don't do a lot of those. But you can find them. I think the thing you look for, if you're looking for a legit massage place that doesn't do the happy ending type thing, find the ones where the girls aren't sitting outside. The ones where the girls are sitting outside and calling you as you walk by, those are the ones that are more adult um, oriented. The ones where you actually walk in, those are the ones that they're not soliciting outside. So that's basically how you would find a legit, real Thai place. Get away from the touristy areas too. So if you're in Nana or in those areas, most of those Thai massage places are going to be more adult oriented. So get away from them and get farther south or farther up on Sukhumvit Road, and you'll find more of the legit Thai places. So anyway, hope that answers your question. And I have not done the ice baths or the deprivation chamber. The ice bath would be interesting, but I can't stand the cold. So I would do it for like maybe 15 seconds and I'd be done. I'd be hopping out. That would be me. That's like, I'm out. I'd be like, what, um, George Costanza on Seinfeld. It's like shrinkage, shrinkage. But what else, guys? We'll keep going. We're at 30 on board here. Make sure you hit that like button. I'd appreciate that. I will start doing more videos, nightlife videos for you guys too. I may actually do like a second live stream. I may do it at night here at a location, like maybe at a bar somewhere, not in Nana or on Soe Cowboy, but maybe in a bar somewhere along Sukhumvit, maybe at O'Shea's or Laughing Tiger or somewhere where I can be there that doesn't have the adult um, entertainment where the girls aren't happy that you're videotaping them. I may do that somewhere and do that live for you guys too. Or I may just take my phone out and do a live and walk around. As long as I have a good connection, that might work too. Let's see. My grandfather in a Western country remarried at 60 to a woman 30 and had 4 more kids. I don't think he enjoyed it. Died at 74. Oh my God. 4 kids after 60. That would be okay. So here's the thing I see a lot. I see a lot of these older expats, especially the ones that go to the Philippines because it's so easy to find a young Filipina to date and marry. And they'll do that. They'll be well into their 60s and they'll marry a Filipina who's in their 20s and then have a kid. And I just don't get it. I don't understand. I mean, Mark Thornton did that. He was close to 70, dated a girl in her early 20s, I think, and then they had a baby. And before the baby was even a year old, he passed away. So you got to think, it's like, okay, so why would you do that? You know, you're not going to. I would not want a child if I couldn't see it grow up and at least graduate high school to be an adult. I would not want to be in that situation where I would know that I'm going to have a child, and if I have a child today and I'm 67, I'll be 85 when that kid graduates high school. There's no way. I mean, even if I was alive, how good is my health going to be to enjoy watching my son or daughter graduate from high school at 80 when I'm 85 years old? It just doesn't make any sense to me. But I see that all the time, especially in the Philippines, because that age gap dating is so great there, and it's so easy to date young Filipinas at being an old guy, and it just doesn't make any sense to me. So I'm looking for a life hack in Southeast Asia. Aren't we all? Don't be afraid of the non-legit Thai massages. They can be a lot of fun. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Sometimes you get both. Sometimes you can get both. A friend of mine did the neuro massage, and it's kind of pricey. It's like 3,500 baht, maybe something like that. But he said it's well worth it. And the neuro massage is everything. So basically, I want to hack it in Southeast Asia to go broke much slower than in the West. Well, absolutely. Yeah, that's the whole thing. Your money goes a lot farther here than pretty much anywhere in the West. So you got that going for you. The girls tell the old guys they don't want children until after they get married. Then the truth comes out. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think having a kid can kind of be a trap for the expat. I don't know that, some of these guys, maybe they're not expecting to get their Filipino or their foreign girl pregnant. Maybe it just happens. Maybe it's an accident. Maybe it's an accident one way. Maybe it's more on purpose from the girl. Sadly, one of the reasons I like going to Thailand is the food, especially the giant river prawns. Yeah, the prawns are huge. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. That's the main reason I love Thailand, is because of the food options. Do I need to get food poisoning if I am a first-time visitor in Pattaya or Bangkok? Do you need to? I've never gotten food poisoning here in Thailand. Philippines, different story. Philippines, first time I moved there for 90 days, I kept getting sick over and over again from the food. Thailand, I've never gotten food poisoning in Thailand. I got food poisoning once in Vietnam and Da Nang, but it wasn't from street food. It was from a restaurant, which I will not name. Um, but I got food poisoning from them. But the Philippines, I got it a lot there. I won't. I'll be completely honest with you. Thailand, never had a problem with it. Never had a problem with the street food. Worry about getting food poisoning. I wouldn't worry about it. No. Do you see the age gap in Thailand or know where the rate of the Philippines, nowhere near the rate of the Philippines? Oh, it's nowhere near. Like I said, you can be a 60, almost 70-year-old. Actually, yeah, you can be in near 70 and date a 20-year-old in the Philippines. And it's fairly common that can happen. Not so much here. Now, I have seen foreigners in their 60s probably dating probably dating girls here in Thailand in their 30s. I've seen that, but probably not in their 20s unless it's transactional, unless it's a pay for play. But the nice thing about Thai girls is that you can date a 50-year-old Thai woman and she looks like she's in her 30s. For the most part, they age very well here. Jeffrey E., do you do pre and or probiotics? A healthy gut biome is your best defense. I do probiotics. It helps my bloating. I get bloated really easy, especially if I drink beer. So I use probiotics. Okay, guys, it's 2:17 in, so we'll go another 10 or 12 minutes, and let me know what's on your mind, guys. As one of the vloggers I watch here in Thailand, what's his vlog? He's an Irish guy. He always says, "What's the story? What's the story?" What's his name? Are there decent health food restaurants in Bangkok? I ate at one a couple of weeks ago. I had breakfast at a place called it was on Sukhumvit 16 in this little mini park, and I can't remember the name of the restaurant now. But if you go on 24, there's a couple of health food restaurants. You can find, gluten-free restaurants. Yeah, so there's plenty of them. There's not a shortage of types of restaurants here in Bangkok. I plan to join this channel, but not using this anonymous account. Okay, very good. If you want, let me know when you do. But you don't have to tell me what your anonymous account is or what your other account is. I don't want to attach my credit card to this account. Okay, understandable. Thanks for joining. If you want to be a member, it's only 99 cents a month. I don't do it to get rich. I do it so Kiki and Jasmine can gift 5 memberships every week on my live stream. No, I don't do it for that, but I appreciate that when he does that. I do it because, when I post new videos, it's kind of neat that my members can see them first. So I usually post a video at least a couple of days, 2 or 3 days before it goes public. So like the video they're watching now, that will go public Monday, tomorrow morning. I'll post that. And that's my poolside one. So let's see. If you are shopping for fruits and vegetables in Big C or Villa Market, is it safe? Yeah. I would make sure you wash them off thoroughly before you eat them, because a lot of times they're not thorough, in, especially the street vendors that sell the fruit and vegetables on the streets, or in the night markets. Um, they probably don't wash them off really well. So a lot of the pesticides are still on the vegetables. So I would make sure you wash them thoroughly. But yeah, they're safe. I don't see any problem with that. Okay, what else, guys? What else you want to talk about? We're back up to 31 on our stream, so that's a good number for me. Can you use the tap water in your condo to wash food, or should you use bottled water? Yeah, you can use your tap water. That's not a biggie. The problem with the tap water is it's potable. The water here is potable, but it's just what they use to transfer it or contain it. Those are probably is where the bacteria comes from. That's probably not healthy, because some of the pipes are maybe corroded in that. The water itself is filtered pretty well, so it's potable. But it's just what they ship it through. You know, it's like the pipes and the containers that it's stored in. That's where the issues come. But you can wash. I brush my teeth with tap water. I don't have a problem with that. I've never had an issue. So, I wouldn't. You could use, if you boil the water, I guess it would be okay if you boil it for a while. But I really don't. You know, if I cook in it, like if I want to cook some pasta and boil some water, I'll use the bottled water for that. I don't use the tap water. You might be able to. You probably wouldn't have a problem since it's boiling, but I'd rather just be safe. So Cebu, I guess the Philippines is a good starter destination. Yeah, Cebu would be a nice soft landing, I think. Yeah, if you like cities, but it is very busy. If you do more live streams, will you announce it on your post beforehand? Yeah, I will. I'll schedule it, and then I'll put it in my community page. So yeah, so you guys get notification. I'm sure there are some local Thais that are tired of foreigners the same way some Americans complain about immigrants. Yeah, I'm sure there are, but they don't outwardly. They're not mean like they are in the U.S. I mean, or in the Western countries. Thais are pretty. They're pretty social. They're pretty lenient. They don't like to cause a lot of problems. But if you do things that are against our culture, like if you are on a train on the BTS or MRT and you're talking loud, they might look at you. They might give you the side eye, but they're not going to say anything. Or if you're sitting on a train and there's an elderly person that's standing, you should always get up and let that elderly person have the seat, or a lady have the seat, or a monk, or even a child. But if you don't do it, they're not going to berate you. They're not going to say anything. They may give you a little bit of a look, but they're not going to say anything. But I suppose, I don't know for a fact, but I'll bet behind closed doors, when they're amongst themselves, they probably have stories. It's like, oh, you would not believe this foreign guy in the train today. There was a old lady standing there, and he was sitting, and he wouldn't give up his seat. You know, they probably have those stories, but yeah, for the most part, they're not going to confront you. Did you use a realtor to find your condo? I did, actually. This condo, I did. I went through a couple of sites. I used was it DD Property and Rent Pad, I believe it was. I also looked on Facebook Marketplace, and a lot of times you'll find agents, not realtors, but agents that I'll use. And they do a pretty good job because they do the negotiation with the owner. So they're usually pretty good at that. If you have the thing with agents, they don't make any money if you. I felt really bad because I was using 3 different agents to look for this place I'm moving in next month, and I had to tell 2 of them that I went with another. And the one I told, she told me, and I don't know how it came up. I think I asked her, but she said, "Oh, I said, oh, I'll refer you to anybody on my channel that's looking." And she goes, "Oh, thank you so much, but I don't think I will have that job next week because I didn't make enough sales." So they have a short leash, I think. So if you don't make a sale as an agent, they let you go, they move on. So unfortunately, that happened to her, I think. So I felt kind of bad about that. If you have a prescription for Valium in your home country and you bring it with you when you retire, there will be a Thai doctor to fill it. Um, I don't know. I don't have any prescriptions that I use. That's a question. I can't answer that question. If that's a question, or if you're making a statement, I don't know. If I start exploring Southeast Asia and Cebu, then I got to include a trip to Thailand while I'm out there. Yeah. I mean, or you can just come to Thailand. I mean, Bangkok, big city, easy to get around. Might be a good place for you to land first. Good question, Jeffrey. Yeah. You can get Valium over the counter here in Thailand. Wow. I did not know that. I've never needed it. So yeah, I don't know. Thanks. Okay, guys. 2 more minutes and then we'll call it good. But yeah, as far as prescription drugs, I don't know, but I think you can probably get drugs prescribed here with a doctor with no problems. Cost for medication, I don't know. Some prescribed medicines are cheaper here than in the US. Some are more expensive. So there's no general answer to any of that. I did look at some over the counter, like my Zyrtec, my allergy pills. That comes to like what was it? It was a bit expensive. It was I want to say for 10 pills, it was like 32 baht a pill, which is like $1 a pill. So if I wanted to get 30 allergy pills for the month, it would cost me about $30 US, which is expensive because the last time I bought allergy medicine, I got the generic Zyrtec on Amazon, and I got a big bottle for it was like $20 for like 300 tablets. So it was a lot cheaper. And I had it shipped to the Philippines. They don't ship that to Thailand, so I can't get it shipped to Thailand. If I got a buddy that's living in the Philippines, I may ship it to him there if he's planning on coming to Thailand anytime soon. I may have to go that route because $30 a month for allergy pills, that adds up. $360 a year. That's pretty steep, I think. Anyway, but you can get Viagra and Cialis on the streets really cheap, guys, if you want. Let's see. Right, pharmacy. Came in late. Great info. Is Amazon reliable there? Yeah. The only 2 problems with Amazon. One is shipping to Thailand. Well, in Vietnam and the Philippines too, but Thailand, because that's where I live now, there's a pretty significant import fee that's attached to it. So if you buy something, say if you purchase something on Amazon to ship here, and it's $100 for the item, it could cost you anywhere from $15 to $50 import fees on top of that $100. So you just don't know, and there's no rhyme or reason. Each thing is different. So there's that. And then, like I said, some items they just don't ship to Thailand, like medicines. So I can't get my Zyrtec shipped here. I can't get my ibuprofen. So I buy ibuprofen here, and it's a little more expensive than normal too. So that's the issue. So 98 cents a pill. Yeah. Yeah. It's basically $1. Yeah. Do you get any shot before you move to Asia? Hepatitis, malaria? I got the hepatitis A and B shots. And then make sure you're up to date on your tetanus shot. If you need a tetanus booster, get that. Everything else, don't worry about it. Don't worry about malaria. Don't worry about any of that other stuff, yellow fever and any of that. So yeah, those would be the ones I would definitely get caught up on. Can I get cough syrup with codeine over the counter in Thailand? It works good when I get a cough. I don't know. I generally don't do the cough syrup, so I don't really know, but I'll bet you can. There's a lot of items that are prescription only in the US that you can get over the counter here. So I would guess yes, but I don't know for sure. So yeah. Okay, guys, it's 11:31, so we're going to call it good for today. I want to thank everybody for watching today. I want to thank Steve for the super chat, Kiki and Jasmine for the 5 gifted memberships, and Ray Wolf for the $20 super chat. So thanks, guys. Appreciate you all. Thank you guys for hitting that thumbs button before you get out of here. And I'll let you know when I post another video. Tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. is a new video, 7 a.m. Thailand time. That would be 8 p.m. Eastern time in the States. So I'll post another video tomorrow. That'll be poolside. So, okay, that's a no, I guess, that you can't get the codeine, syrup with codeine. Okay, so I'm assuming that's Ace Bachelor Tom is answering that question. So, all right, you guys have a great rest of your day or evening, and we'll talk to you again soon. And as always, live life, my friend. Take care. Bye-bye.